Okay, so I received this question from someone asking, when is a good time to actually insert yourself and give your opinion or your input on what someone else is doing with their life or choosing for themselves? This question came after I posted a video a while ago, actually, on how your judgment isn't helping anyone. I talked about how I'd been on a walk out with my kids, and my daughter was wearing her heavy kind of Doc Marten boots, and her feet were getting sore. So she decided to take her boots off and walk in her socks. And I'm having this thought, if she should take her socks off, she's going to get holes in her socks. And then I stopped myself and I realized, like, that's fine. Like, I don't need to put that judgment on her and have her get all worried about her socks for no reason, So it's really kind of catching ourselves and being aware that often our input isn't helpful for people, and it can sometimes cause them to feel more self-conscious or more aware or even ashamed of things that they wouldn't have been ashamed of because we sort of put that on them, if you know what I mean. So the question came of like, well, when is it a good time to speak up? Okay, so maybe we don't need to speak up about our kids maybe putting holes in our socks. That's what happens to socks. They get holes in them sometimes. Eventually they're gonna wear out anyway. And she's doing the best she can to take care of herself and to take care of her needs in this moment, and walking in her socks was better for her than getting blisters on her feet. And I, as someone who cares about her and respects her as an individual who's able to make her own sovereign decisions for herself, as a 16-year-old young woman, I get to make room, of course, and choose to let her make her choices for herself and for her life. And honestly, this is the case with most anybody. If someone decides that they would like to become an alcoholic or a meth addict, or they would like to go do something that you wouldn't do, that's their prerogative. They get to choose to do that. It doesn't mean you're not concerned. It doesn't mean you might not worry. And I mean, saying alcoholic or meth addict is kind of an extreme statement to make. But it could be around anything. You're vegan and they choose to eat meat, and you have a whole lot of reasons why you've decided that being vegan is best for you. But you are a sovereign being who gets to make that decision for yourself, and everyone else is a sovereign being who gets to make that decision for themselves too. And if they ask you, hey, tell me why you're vegan, I'd be interested. Of course, tell them why you made that choice for yourself personally. But again, own your choices and don't try to make your choices everyone else's choices. If it's someone who you really love and they are exhibiting some very destructive behavior, I say oftentimes tread lightly in situations like that. Oftentimes when people are behaving in destructive ways, it's because they are playing out some sort of need to get out some sort of aggression or fear or anger or something that they are feeling, and they are pushing their edges and they're pushing their limits, and they're needing to have that destructive experience on some level in order to work through whatever's going on with them. So I think it's okay. I believe it's okay that you would absolutely express concern, like for whatever it is, and always in love. Just say, I love you, and it doesn't make sense to me. This isn't something that I would do in a way that I would behave. Could you help me understand? And maybe they'll talk to you about it, maybe they won't. But just say, help me understand what you're doing. Help me understand the choices you're making. And they might not even know. They might not actually know. So you get to choose to just show up in curiosity and in love, to ask questions, and to also just be in respect of, like, other people get to make choices for their life that aren't your choices that you're making for yourself. And sometimes part of loving them is not imposing what you think is best for them onto them. And yes, maybe like with our kids, maybe you've had this experience. Maybe you see that it can be a struggle, and you want to save them from the struggles that you've been through, and you want life to be easier for them. But why? Why are we trying to make life easier for other people? Yes, life gets to be easy, but the only way that I have come to that realization is that life gets to be easy is because I've done it the hard way so many times and for so much of my life. And I decided I don't want this to be hard anymore. When it's never hard, we never realize that it gets to be easy. Does that make sense? If we never hit bottom, we never find out that we can rise. We never find out what we're made of. In so many ways, we try to cut people short of the lessons that they are going out and getting for themselves. Here's another way of putting it. Like, your soul came here to have an experience. Maybe your soul needed to go do something deep, dark, and secret. Maybe your soul needed to go around and get bashed up a little bit so that it could also discover the values of unconditional love, of patience, of forgiveness, of healing, of all of these things, right? So anyway, I know this maybe isn't a very direct response, but really I just say, and even with your young kids, right? Even when they're young and you are in charge of them, being really mindful of the fact that you are here to caretake for them and make sure that, yes, they stay safe, they don't run it out into the street, they don't go tumbling down the stairs, that they're fed, that they're clothed, that they're napped, that they have good boundaries and routine, that they truly feel loved, cared for, safe, valued, seen, and all that stuff. And part of letting them know that they're seen is letting them make their own decisions and letting them make mistakes and letting them experience those consequences while they are within the safety of your care. Right? Yes. So good. I know this is especially hard for parents, whether you have little kids or older kids or grown kids. We want to meddle, we want to interfere, but so much of that is judgment, us judging or deciding that the way they're doing things and the way they're making choices is bad or wrong, and that the way we do things is good and right. But it's not for us to say what's best and right for other people, right? Okay. Anyway, I'm Jessica Amos. I'm a mindfulness and meditation teacher. I'm a life transformation coach, and I'm the founder of Stay With Yourself, which is the practice of being who you are, where you are. So you get to be who you are, where you are in each moment. You get to honor your feelings. You do get to express your curiosity and your concern about things, but knowing that there's a boundary where you end and other people begin, and they get to be in their own sovereignty, making their own decisions. And of course you get to share, and of course they get to continue doing whatever it is they're going to do, and you get to continue loving them anyway. Yes. All right. Hope you're having a beautiful day. May you stay with yourself today and always.